If you were born in November, you get to pick from two beautiful minerals as your birthstone. These are topaz and citrine. Both of them amaze us with their warm, sun-kissed colors, and both have thousands of years of stories, cool scientific facts, and spiritual traditions behind them. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey into these worlds. Let's start with topaz, this gemstone that's incredibly hard, yet surprisingly fragile. The name topaz likely comes from Topazios Island in the Red Sea, though interestingly, no topaz has ever been found there, only olivine. Topaz is an aluminum silicate mineral, and its crystal structure is built in an orthorhombic system. This means it crystallizes along three axes of different lengths, at right angles to each other. The aluminum and silicon atoms form a tetrahedral structure with oxygen atoms, while fluoride and hydroxide ions are incorporated into the crystal lattice in varying proportions. And it's this varying proportion that determines the stone's color and other properties. Topaz has a hardness of 8 on the Mohs scale, which is a really impressive number. Practically, only corundum, meaning ruby and sapphire, with a hardness of 9, and diamond with a value of 10, are harder. Imagine a material that can scratch almost anything else on Earth, yet it has one weak spot. One of topaz's physical properties is its perfect cleavage. This means it can easily split in half along certain planes. That's why jewelers work with it very carefully. More valuable pieces are placed in protective settings, where the stone's sensitive parts are not exposed to impact or mechanical stress. The most interesting thing about topaz is its wide range of colors. This happens because of tiny flaws in its crystal, called color centers, and different small amounts of other elements or impurities. These color centers are like small defects in the crystal structure, where certain colors of light get absorbed. That's why we see the stone in different colors. A completely pure and perfect topaz is actually colorless and clear, but most stones found in nature get their color from these color centers or foreign elements. Yellow and brown shades mostly come from color centers, which create warm colors because of how electrons behave inside the material. Color centers also play a role in blue topaz, but often these small internal changes in the stone are made by artificial radiation and heat treatment. This helps turn a colorless or pale stone into a vibrant one. Pink or red shades are mainly caused by a trace element called chromium in the crystal. Orange colors happen because of both color centers and chromium. Green, purple, and some colorless types are usually caused by unique, rarer impurities or differences in the crystal structure. This variety is what makes topaz so versatile and special, which is why it's so loved, as each stone has its own truly unique color world. The most valuable type of topaz, which shines in colors from orange to pink and even red, is called imperial topaz. Its name, imperial, is no accident. In the 19th century, this special kind was found in Russia, in the Ural Mountains. From the very beginning, it was kept only for the Tsar's family. Only members of the imperial family could wear imperial topaz, and this special rule has stayed with the name to this day. Let's travel now to the most important places where topaz is found. Brazil is the top producer of topaz in the world. The biggest mines are in the states of Minas Gerais and Goiás. The Ouro Preto area is especially famous for its imperial topaz. The stones found there have colors that look like they've captured the light of a sunset. Russia, with its historical sites in the Ural Mountains, also plays a big part in the topaz market. In the United States, you can find important topaz deposits in Utah, California, and Colorado. Pakistan is known for its blue topaz. Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Mexico, and Myanmar are also significant locations where topaz is found. Some topazes have made history. The Braganza diamond isn't actually a diamond, even though it was first thought to be one. This 1680-carat stone was found in Brazil in 1740, and it was so big and clear that the people who found it were sure they had discovered the world's largest diamond. The stone became part of the Portuguese crown, and it was only later that they realized it was actually a topaz. The El Dorado topaz is the world's largest cut gemstone, weighing 6.2 kilograms, or about 31,000 carats. It's an emerald-cut topaz that was found in Brazil in 1984. Topaz really became popular in jewelry making in the 18th century. That's when mines in Brazil were discovered, and they started finding these really clear, bright, colourful stones. The Portuguese rich people quickly started wearing yellow, brownish, and pinkish-orange topaz jewelry as a sign of their status. Think brooches, pendants, long earrings, chains, and bracelets. The vibe of this time was all about these fancy jewelry sets, covered in gemstones. These sets could have dozens of topaz stones, cut in all sorts of shapes. Some popular designs from the Georgian era included oval gold topaz pendants made with a technique called canatille, foil-backed riviere necklaces, and dangling girandole earrings. There were also sentimental acrostic jewels, where the letter T from topaz was often part of words like dearest and other secret messages. These pieces made topaz a symbol of warm, everyday romance, lasting loyalty, and trust during that time. During the Victorian era, topaz stayed popular, especially the orange, golden yellow, and pinkish imperial varieties. Large oval-cut topaz stones, often richly decorated, were frequently used in brooches, necklaces, and cocktail rings. They were often paired with diamonds, emeralds, or turquoise. Towards the end of this period, imperial topaz from the Ural Mountains in Russia became very exclusive. Even Faberge made jewelry with it for the royal family. In the Belle Époque and Edwardian eras, topaz appeared in delicate filigree gold and platinum designs, with open-work settings and elegant light colours. The natural pink variety was especially sought after, becoming a symbol of feminine charm. During the Art Deco years, topaz took a back seat to bolder, more geometric gemstones. But there were still some striking examples, like emerald-cut, large brown, or even imperial topaz earrings, brooches, or rings. Topaz always gives off a feeling of timeless elegance, formal grandeur, and imperial splendor. It's no wonder it was chosen for crowns, ceremonial pieces, and protective amulets. Taking care of topaz needs special attention. Even though it's hard and resists scratches, it's sensitive to bumps and pressure because of its perfect cleavage, as we talked about. It's best to clean it with lukewarm soapy water. You should store it in a cool, dry place, away from other jewelry. You need to avoid strong impacts, big changes in temperature, and being in direct sunlight for too long, as this can make it fade, especially the yellow and brown colors. Now let's dive into the spiritual and healing powers of topaz, which people have been interested in since ancient times. The ancient Egyptians believed that topaz had strong protective powers against all dangers. The Greeks thought that topaz gave strength and could even make the wearer invisible in times of danger. The Romans used it as a good luck charm, believing it kept away bad things and brought good fortune. In Hindu traditions, it was thought to protect homes from fire, and if worn over the heart, it would bring a long life, beauty, and intelligence. In the Middle Ages, topaz was thought to have almost magical powers. People believed it could break spells and calm anger. The most famous belief was that topaz would make its owner rich. But even more interesting was the medieval idea that it could make the wearer invisible. Saint Hildegard said that if someone rubbed their eyes with topaz soaked in wine, it would improve blurry vision. Wearing it on the left arm protected against dark magic. Keeping it in the home prevented accidents and fires, and having it under the pillow kept nightmares away. They even believe that topaz changed color when near poisoned food or drink. These deep-rooted beliefs and spiritual views, going back thousands of years, are still around today and add to topaz's magical and healing image. In modern spiritual practices, topaz is seen as the stone of self-confidence and self-love. It helps us see our own worth without becoming proud. It encourages us to speak up for our dreams and hopes. Emotionally, it brings stability, reduces worry, stress and tension, while also bringing joy and contentment. Mentally, it makes us smarter, helps us focus better, and solves problems. It helps us be creative and learn new things throughout our lives, making us curious. It helps us figure out what we want most in life and make a plan to get it. It supports us in becoming our true selves and succeeding in what we try to do, while reminding us that when we give, we also receive. In spiritual practices, topaz is thought of as a stone of peace and calm, perfect for meditation and connecting with spiritual beings. In crystal healing, it's also linked to helping with different physical problems, treating eye and throat issues, helping digestion and speeding up metabolism, boosting energy flow along the body's energy paths, making the nervous system stronger, and helping absorb nutrients better, easing vision problems and certain mental conditions, and reducing heartache. And now, after exploring the world of topaz, let's move on to November's other birthstone, citrine. It found its popularity in a very different way, but still gives off a similar warmth. Citrine is part of the quartz family. Its chemical formula is silicon dioxide, which is the same as rock crystal, amethyst, or smoky quartz. The difference is in the color, which comes from tiny amounts of trivalent iron ions. Citrine forms crystals in a trigonal or hexagonal system, and this structure is what makes it so tough and hard. The color of citrine can be anything from light yellow to honey yellow, golden yellow, orange, reddish orange, and even brownish. And this brings us to a very important difference. The difference between natural citrine and heat-treated citrine. Natural citrine is rare, very rare. It forms when quartz crystals, especially smoky quartz or amethyst, change deep inside the earth. This happens because of natural geothermal heat, at about 800 to 900 degrees Celsius, over a very, very long time. Almost forever in human terms. This process happens in the Earth's mantle layer, where the high temperature changes the iron ions, creating that delicate, soft yellow color that is special to natural citrine. Natural citrine is usually a pale yellow, sometimes with a greenish or slightly smoky tint. Its color is spread evenly, and it's super valuable because it's so rare. Places where it's found include Brazil, Madagascar, and the Ural Mountains. But here's the thing. About 90 to 95% of the citrine you see in stores is actually amethyst or smoky quartz that's been heated. They make this by heating purple amethyst or greyish smoky quartz to about 800 to 900 degrees Celsius, which changes its colour to yellow or orange. This heat-treated citrine usually has a stronger orange or brown colour, and its colour might not be even, often with brownish spots. But it's much easier to find and cheaper than the natural kind. It's important to remember, though, that both natural and heat-treated citrine are real quartz. They have similar spiritual properties because they both have the same basic structure. The main difference is how rare and valuable they are, not what they're made of. Citrine has a hardness of 7 on the Mohs scale, which means it's a tough mineral, able to resist everyday wear and tear. It shines with a glassy luster, breaks like a shell, and doesn't usually split along flat surfaces, which is typical for the quartz family. Brazil is the world's biggest source of natural citrine. The Anahy mine in Bolivia is unique because it also produces ametrine. Ametrine is a special kind of quartz that combines the purple color of amethyst and the yellow shade of citrine in the same crystal, almost as if nature used two different paints on the same canvas. Bolivia, Uruguay, Madagascar, Zambia, Spain, Mexico, France, and the Ural Mountains in Russia are also important places where it's found. Citrine has been used for thousands of years as jewelry and as a good luck charm. In ancient Egypt, it was called the sunstone, and amulets were made from it to keep away evil spirits and poisonous snakes. The Greeks and Romans called it the merchant's stone because it was thought to attract wealth. They carried it in pouches or wore it on themselves to bring good fortune. In ancient Rome, signet rings were made from it for important people. In the 17th century, Scottish warriors decorated the handles of their swords and daggers with citrine, perhaps believing the stone would give them courage and protection in battle. Citrine's use in jewelry goes all the way back to ancient Roman times. It was a common gemstone for signet rings and intaglios, but it really shined in the 18th and 19th centuries. During the Georgian and Victorian eras, citrine was often confused with topaz. So, in jewelry from that time, the name topaz could often mean citrine or brownish quartz. Citrine pendants, earrings, and rings set in delicate, filigree-like gold frames using the canotille technique were a symbol of the feminine elegance of the era. It also appeared in acrostic rings, which hid secret love messages as a symbol of natural, cheerful colours. But the citrine really shone during the Art Nouveau period. The art of that time focused on natural shapes, flowing curves, and plant designs. The warm golden colour of citrine was a perfect match for this style. In Art Nouveau jewellery, citrine was often paired with enamel, finely carved gold, colourful glass inlays, or pearls. This really showed off the natural beauty of the gemstone. You'd often see designs with leaves, vines, and fancy flowers, with citrine as the main stone or as a decorative part of pendants, brooches, rings, and earrings. The big jewellery houses and famous artists of that era loved to use this stone in their unique and artistic pieces. They used it to highlight femininity, a connection to nature, and the cheerful mood of the new century. Even today, Art Nouveau citrine jewellery is a beautiful example of the delicate style, skilled craftsmanship, and timeless elegance of that time. Citrine jewellery always brought messages of wealth and happy joy. Modern astrology and spiritual practices also highly value its energy and sunny look. Whether it's Victorian Scottish brooches, Art Deco cocktail rings, or modern jewellery, citrine has always been and still is known as the stone of abundance, optimism, and sparkle in jewellery history. Taking care of citrine is pretty easy. Because it's a 7 on the hardness scale, it's tough, but you still need to handle it carefully. It's best to store it wrapped in a soft cloth, away from other jewellery. Also, try to avoid putting it in direct sunlight or heat for too long, as this can make its colour fade. And now let's move on to the spiritual and healing properties of citrine, which are perhaps even richer and more varied than those of topaz. Citrine is widely known as the merchant's stone or success stone because it's strongly connected to wealth, prosperity, and abundance. It attracts material goods and financial success, so it's often used in business places to draw in transactions. It's a powerful tool for making dreams come true, boosting intentions and helping them become real. Citrine opens the mind to accept joy and lets go of anger and negative feelings. It's a great crystal for fighting depression and makes you less sensitive to criticism. It boosts self-esteem, self-confidence, and personal power, inspiring self-expression and creative thinking. It helps heal emotional hurts and brings inner peace. Citrine is connected to two main chakras. One is the solar plexus chakra, which is the center of personal power, self-confidence, and fighting spirit. Citrine activates this chakra, helping you set strong boundaries and keep negative energy away. The other is the sacral chakra, the center of passion, creativity, and intimacy, which helps keep joy alive and prevents emotional burnout. Citrine is a natural cleanser that doesn't hold on to negative energy. Instead, it changes it into positive energy. It carries the sun's energy, bringing warmth, positivity, and life. It helps with spiritual growth and connecting with the divine. What's more, citrine is one of the few stones that doesn't need to be cleaned energetically because it can renew and clean its own energy. In crystal healing, citrine is also linked to many physical issues. It's used to support thyroid function, the health of the digestive system, spleen and pancreas, to ease chronic fatigue syndrome, and to reverse degenerative diseases. It's also used to support healthy skin, nails, and hair, to reduce allergies and skin irritations, and to lessen menstrual and menopausal symptoms. The myths and stories about citrine are also very rich. Ancient Egyptians called it the sun's stone. The Greeks and Romans called it the merchant's stone because they believed it could bring wealth. In the Middle Ages, alchemists thought of it as the philosopher's stone, which they hoped could turn common metals into gold and help them find the secret to eternal life. In Celtic traditions, citrine was linked to the energy of fairies. People believed it attracted these magical beings who brought happiness and riches. The most famous myth says that citrine was a gift from the sun god to humans, giving warmth, wisdom, and life-giving energy to anyone who wore it. In today's spiritual practices, citrine is known as the stone of manifestation. Many people believe that citrine is one of the most positive stones. Its bright energy helps turn negative thoughts and feelings into positive ones. From an astrology point of view, both of these stones are the official birthstones for November. Citrine is linked with the planet Jupiter in Vedic astrology. Jupiter is known as the planet of growth, wisdom, and good luck. Its yellow color connects it to the sun, which encourages a giving and generous nature. It's a popular charm for pregnant women for protection, and it's also believed to help with married life. Topaz stands for strength, protection, love, loyalty, wisdom, and trust, while citrine represents bringing things into reality, wealth, imagination, joy, and life-giving energy. Topaz is the stone for the 4th, 19th, and 23rd wedding anniversaries, and citrine is for the 13th wedding anniversary. Both stones have a calming energy, bringing good luck and warmth to the person wearing them, and they come in many different sizes and price ranges. So, if you were born in November, you get to pick between two amazing gemstones. There's topaz with its toughness, many colours, and royal feel. Or there's citrine with its sunny warmth, ability to attract good fortune, and calming energy. Both stones add something special to what November means, and both can bring something wonderful into your life, whether you wear them as jewellery or use them for spiritual purposes. With these gems, nature reminds us that beauty and strength can show up in many ways, and every mineral we dig up from deep in the earth carries a piece of history, science, and human belief. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching!